Democrat versus Republican narrative means almost nothing. The political parties have switched on so many issues over time, but the constant narrative throughout the human story is populism versus totalitarianism, and both exist in both political parties. Communism, socialism, fascism all result in equality. Everyone has equally nothing. Hence, horseshoe theory says the far right and the far left are a lot closer to each other than they are to everyone in between. My allegiance is not to a political party. It is only to the individual liberty of the people. And right now, it's hard not to notice that there's an encroaching totalitarianism in America, and the ruling class has a lot more power than they should, and the executive branch, the mainstream media, social media, Hollywood, academia, the intelligence agencies, big corporations, have swung so far left and all parrot the exact same messages. And it's not that the right-wing totalitarians don't also pose a threat, but right now, they are not the leaders of the party. The leaders of the party, Trump, RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, they were all Democrats. They were and remain populists. The new right is a defensive reaction against the left going too far. There is no indication that Trump's an authoritarian, fascist Hitler reincarnate based on history, because for all the accusations of him being a dictator, he stepped down. Nazis are the National Socialist Party of Germany, and fascism is a nationalist military dictatorship with a command economy. Trump's policies and preferences actively oppose that kind of authoritarianism. Lower taxation gives more money and therefore more power to the people. Crypto is decentralized currency, meaning everything you do can't be monitored. Firearms allow people to protect themselves and be self-reliant. Free speech allows for individual autonomy. These are not the positions of Hitler or the Nazis. But price controls, going after privacy laws, seizing guns, monitoring every business exchange, demonizing political dissidents, censorship, those are. The modern left projects onto Trump hoping you won't notice, so their power isn't seized. The cling to control is so aggressive that they accidentally aired election results of Harris winning PA by 5% with 100% of the vote on October 30th. That is blatant cheating. Less than half of the states require photo ID to vote. Voters with unconfirmed citizenship can vote. Registration programs are accidentally registering non-citizens to vote. The Biden-Harris admin is suing states to keep non-citizens on their voter rolls. The Democrat Party voted against the SAVE Act. There's not many reasons to vote against it. When the party no longer bothers to hide their corruption and control, you should be scared, because it almost no longer matters what you think of them. They've gone so authoritarian that they're confident that their power is so vast that it can't be ripped away. The only way to fight an all-powerful totalitarian regime is for the populist vote to be so overwhelming that the cheating doesn't cut it. A vote is ideological warfare, and if we still believe in the idea of this country, we will fight.
24 hours later from my last video, and guess what? The price is exactly the same. You can hear the heater going on in this. I should reduce the gate on this old system here. 68.7, the exact same price 24 hours later. And of course, we have the dead-eyed smile of old Mr. Clean's head and shoulders pattern playing out perfectly. Now, what I'd like to see in order to eliminate the probabilities, maybe not eliminate, but maybe take the probabilities down a tad, because right now the probabilities are looking great under normal market conditions. However, we may be in the most abnormal market conditions for the next little while, I suppose. I think in this environment, the days of the single day vote is probably over. They got lots of things to do in the back room. They got a lot of things. We're fudging the numbers here, sliding them over here, putting them over there. So, you know, it's not going to happen right away. But if it does, let's say we did have a Trump trade win, I'm sure we'd see something close to a God candle. And I know most, judging from the poll here, I would say that 99% people are kind of hoping for that. Hoping for, you know, a God candle, Bitcoin going to where we all know it eventually will. It might take longer than we are hoping for or have the patience for, but we all know eventually that price will get there. Who doesn't want economic prosperity, right? Here's the thing. No matter what, you have to remember the divisive nature of politics is for the plebs to argue about. The psychopathic money parasites only care about one thing, and it's just extorting money from you. That's it. So the only way to extort money in a failing economy, because it doesn't matter, there's two sides of every trade, right? There's a buy and a sell. So if we are in a collapsing economy, there's only one thing to do, and that's to inflate the stock market. And guess what? The hardest assets will go up first. And what's the hardest asset? Oh, my piano's not on. See, these are the things that happen. Bitcoin, obviously. So there's really only one lane, and that's inflate the stock market as much as they can. Because how are they going to imagine that? Imagine economic calamity going sideways on them, and everyone's losing money in the stock market. That's the majority of what they're taxing is capital gains. Without capital gains, and this is in a free market, it would take care of itself. There's no capital gains, there's no tax. And then the government has to get smaller? Never. That'll never happen. The government never gets smaller. Well, maybe they will. Who knows? We're promised a lot. Are we lied to about the promises? Yeah. You got to understand, I'm in Canada. So we've had like a Kamala Harris-esque government for 8 years. You've watched. You've seen what's happened here. Can it course correct? I don't know. Maybe in a generation. That's why we hold on to Bitcoin up here, because it will probably take a generation to course correct the damage of a brutal government regime happening to your country, especially Canada, because Canada was weak to begin with, right? The States, maybe it could survive a Trudeau-esque Kamala thing, maybe. I don't know. It's definitely America is stronger. I mean, it's the last hope, America. We're looking at you. We're watching. Misko, I got to close this. What did Misko say? I had that conversation last night. I talked about how they want us to argue over 4 issues while they steal our money through fees on 401ks, taxes, federal, state, and personal property, as well as insurance. Exactly. They want you to be fighting tooth and nail with your neighbor about things that really they don't give a shit about, right? They'll take either way. Oh, you don't want it? Okay. Oh, you want it? Okay. You don't want it? Okay. When really, they're just stealing the money out the back door. That's all this is. It's a money game. Easy. It's a money game. So, yeah, we're looking at you, America. Hopefully, you can be that footnote in history where things almost went sideways and down. But America pulled it out of the fire at the last second. I don't know. My heart of hearts, because I'm a cynical old conspiracy theorist, doesn't matter, right? So they're just a bunch of puppets anyway. No matter how good intention, bad intention. You could have all the bad intentions in the world, you're still a puppet. You can have all the good intentions in the world, you're still a puppet. You find that out once you're in, I suppose. What do I know? I'm just a piano player in Winnipeg. Yeah. So here we are. The only way to get up and over this head and shoulders pattern, I think it's to get up to the 23.6% fib at 71.4. 71.4 would be a safe recovery out of this, and it would probably, this is what I could see happening on this noisy little so-and-so. Where's the highlighter? Is this the brush? No, I'm on the brush. Is to come up here and then consolidate, little cup and handle, kaboomski. That's what I'd like to see. So that's what I would hope to see coming out of this election day. Now, of course, there's that old adage, show me the TA, I'll show you the news. And then it's show me the news, I'll show you the TA. Hey, you got your chocolate and my peanut butter. You got your peanut butter and my chocolate. You can see the chicken or the egg, how this works out with TA and news. But let's say we're building out this head and shoulders, the old dead-eyed smile of Mr. Clean, and we have a Kamala win. Well, then, kaboom. We'll desperately tank. Well, we'll recover. And here's where, the upside to that is it's maybe, with that and a collapsing Bitcoin price, there's one last chance. One last chance to buy Bitcoin at that price. And now this plays out down to this support, old channel of eternal monotony. Support down at 64.4-ish. Bobby Newell, I'm just watching from Thailand. Not sure where the next safe haven will be. I thought Thailand was the next safe haven. We keep hearing that El Salvador is the next big thing. But what's going to happen is that it's going to be. My fear with El Salvador is that it's going to become highly overpriced. So access to there will become, elite in its own right. Right, you'll have to have, 3 Bitcoins? You know how many people have 3 Bitcoins? Like 0.00001% of the entire population have 3 Bitcoins. Now, people that have 3 or more usually have, 10 to 100 to 1,000. So it's really like, it's highly concentrated. Those whales are highly concentrated bunch of so-and-so. So it'd be easy for them to move to El Salvador. But for the normal plebs, hustling it out in a piano bar trying to get down to El Salvador. Yeah, what is 3 Bitcoin these days? 210K? It's not that much when you think about it. I mean, I don't have 210K, but in the big scheme of Bitcoin whales, you would have it would be a no-brainer. I'd be down there by now for sure. So that's there will, those memes, there will be signs. Yeah, there will be signs. I'll be in El Salvador. So you can see, same with the daily. We're kind of sitting in this nice little, like that's 6 days of downward action. We haven't had, this is a historic 6th day. So yesterday putting in that 6th, it's not the biggest. We've had more downward action, but we've never had 6 down days in this whole 8 months. Let that sink in. In this whole 8 months of chop suey sideways action, we've never had 6 downward days. We just had it. And so you could see if this election were to play out, till Friday, the numbers aren't in. The machines broke. To me, that's so hilarious that the machines can break. It's like it's not a bug. It's a feature that they can break. They broke again. But wouldn't you know it? Right on election day. It's a funny thing. They were working perfectly. We get them in there election day. Halfway through the day, they break again. Anyway, you can see Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that would build out the perfect left shoulder of this head and shoulders pattern. So that wouldn't be good. So, like a nice little Trump trade, let's say the polls start coming out maybe backwards or back in his favor, or who knows? I live in my own echo chamber, so I see what my digital Plato's wall wants me to see, right? So I would like to, this is today's day. How much have we come up today so far? 2%, 1.5%. So in order to get to, what did I say, 71.2, we basically need to have a 3.5% pump. Now, 3.5% pump, when I draw it out like this, looks like a lot, right? It's not. 3.5%. That's like in a functioning bull market. In a functioning bull market where retail apes in, 3.5% is nothing. Is absolutely nothing. But because we're not in a retail market yet, we are horribly dependent on institutions. And, the reason why a 3.5% pump seems like almost an impossibility is that when institutions do ape in, they OTC. So it's like, well, come on, you just buy it on one exchange. I know you sell on the exchanges. Why can't you buy on the exchange? Sneaky Pete, retail is tapped. I agree. I notice it everywhere I go that retail is tabbed. Not just for Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin, if you want to me, Bitcoin is the investment pizza, so to speak. Why I say pizza is that I have some friends who own pizza joints, and they say that they are the canary in the coal mine. So when pizza is up, that's when retail has extra money. Because if you think about it, it makes sense. You know, when you have a little extra money and it's Sunday night, you don't feel like cooking. Well, guess what? Let's order some pizza. But if you don't have that extra money, you don't order the pizza. So he says that they've been in a sideways/down market for, basically a year or so. And that would make sense because when I think about the Jimmy, when I think about the drinking habits of the patrons and the tipping habits of the patrons, I noticed that there's been a huge decline. And they just don't have the money like to come out to a place, a bar, pay retail. We're talking about $10 drinks. If you're in the States, you're like $7 drinks. That sounds like a deal. $10 drinks. It's all relative, right? Your $7 is our $10. It hurts the same amount for the person who's buying it. And then if you go up a little scale, let's say you get a Grey Goose. I remember when I was bartending at Grey Goose, the high-end vodka. I believe Grey Goose is also the Costco vodka. Could be wrong. Could be conspiracy theory. But I heard that's what they do with the off sale of the extra, I won't say that. The extra vodka gets put into the Costco bins. Just, it could be, someone fact check that. I'd like to be wrong, maybe on that. And so when I was a bartender, there would be, Grey Goose was, I think for one shot was $8. That was a high-end shot. Oh, you want Grey Goose? Ooh, well, I remember Kirkland, that's right. And I'd be like, it's $8 for the Grey Goose. They go, oh, no big deal. I'll take the Grey Goose. It's $8. Now a Grey Goose in a bar is easily $15. That's doubled. It's doubled for sure. So to come to a bar and give $15, I'm assuming plus tip. I'd hate to think what tips have gone down to because there's no. So there's two roads to go by this. Either they're tipping more because it's fake money, it's all like $3, whatever I want to say it, or they're tipping less because they can see it. $15. Oh, I'll put in 10%. Right, $1.50. Not bad, I guess. Actually, to tell you the truth, now I think about it, we made most of our tips off of whales. It was like the 80-20 rule. 20% of all the patrons paid for all the tips, and 80% were just basically NPCs that wouldn't tip. Right. So anyway, what am I getting at here? Let's give me the TA or show you the news. So if we get hung up here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll be in a perfect situation for this Head and Shoulders to play out. Now, the only really thing that I can think is could happen is, if Trump comes out on top, we could see a pump that would negate this. Now, you remember this line here goes back to the 2021 bull market. So you can see how we are still respecting it. We got over it, came back under. I can see us doing this. Let's draw that in here so we have it. That would be all-time highs. I could see that happening. E-money, how high do you have to go to invalidate? There really is no real rule because it's basically a shift in momentum, if that makes sense. Because you could you could have a pump today and it would go up to here, and it would seemingly invalidate it. But if we had a immediate turn down and, we just wicked up here and it's back here, we're still in the vicinity. So I think what has to happen is they have to close candles at or above. Whoa, that's not the one I wanted. You have to start closing the candles above certain resistance. To me, anyway, that's how I gauge momentum shifts if we can close candles. Because wicks, we've talked about wicks, not the wicks, but wicks. Nobody cares about Wix. They're just where retail kind of apes in. If there is such thing as retail, which obviously we know right now, there's absolutely no retail. And that's fine. That's why we're in a little bit of a holding pattern, right here while waiting for retail. Will retail come in? I've talked to some retail who are coming in. I feel like the marketing aspect of Bitcoin has fallen to the wayside a bit. We don't see it really. You and I are in the echo chambers of all echo chambers. Really? So if we're not really seeing the advertisement, I mean, on my X feed, I'll see all the interviews and, all the little memes about Bitcoin, but it's not really a heavy push per se. It's not a drastic push for Bitcoin. Makes me think that the actuarians have done the risk assessment and they're like, well, right now is not the time to push. So it may be a price pump and then a push. Not you, Wix. Not you, Wix. No one cares about retail Wix. Everybody cares about the Wix. Everybody cares about the Wix. Nobody knows where they live. I'm in the wrong key. Everybody cares about the Wix. Nobody knows where they live. Everybody cares about the Wix. Nobody knows where they live. Coming up on the album, everybody knows the Wix. So 69, holding on to this holding pattern of 67 to 69, which is really par for the course. At least we are, if you go like this, you can see how we are respecting this old trend line. This trend line, let's get rid of Head and Shoulders. So the dead-eyed smile of old Mr. Clean. Over on the weekly, let's move this here so we can really see what's going on. Look at that Wix. Speaking of Wix nobody cares about. Jesus. That is an impressive bearish wick. This is a shooting star candle, which does signal more bearish continued action. Now again, you show me the news, I'll show you the TA. This would make sense with the Kamala dump that this would be, oh yeah, see, this actually insinuated that we are going to go down. Wow, probably the news, because we could easily get right about that which once wicked will get candlesticked. It does happen in the opposite way. We still can do wicks to the up end. We just haven't. Have you realized that? That's a weird thing, because we all know that the most accurate TA in the entire world is that which once wicked will get candlesticked. Now, have we started seeing it on the upside? The true measure of a bull market is when those dastardly little kids start singing about that which once wicked will get candlestick to the upside. Now, I'm expecting about 9 months of potential, the Enchanted Children's Choir singing about upward wicks, and then followed by 2 years of, the downside. Are you trying to sneak up on me, Duke? There you go. What's going up? Whoa, nice reverb. If only the folks at home could see how delicious the reverb was here. But let's do this carefully. Okay, buddy. What are you going to play for the good crowd? Let's sing them out here. What would you like to play? I'm leaving it up to you.
Actually?
Yeah, actually, except for the instrumentals from video games. That's always up there. They want to hear your sweet little voice, my boy. Sneaky Pete says honesty. Oh, this is the dusty one. Let's dust this one off.
If you search for tenderness, it isn't hard to find. Isn't hard to find.
Yeah, D.
Build a bitter end. Anyone can cover me with promises again. I don't know. I don't know.
You're pumping the market, dude. Take her home. Oh, no, you're pumping the market. Keep going.
Oh. I can know when I'm deep inside me. Don't be too concerned. I won't ask for nothing. I won't ask for nothing while I'm gone. Gone. And I don't, when I want sincerity, tell me what else can I turn? You're the one that I depend upon. Honesty, it's such a lonely word. Everyone is so untrue. Honesty is all I ever had. Mostly what I need from you.
Make sure you like and subscribe and share this